The heart of every organization is its people. We're taking action to take care of them, to develop a world-class team, now and into the future. This is Empowering Excellence with Art and Frankie.
All right, and we are back with the next episode, to be precise, episode 13 of Empowering Excellence. I am Art Sterrett, and I am your co-host along with Frankie Ramos. Frankie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's weird to see you here because I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, I feel like you've been cheating on me.
No, just trying to do as well as you do. But I'm glad you're back.
You did one on our recruiting event, right?
We did, yeah.
How was that recruiting event anyway?
It went really well. We had a great turnout. We got some lessons learned because that was our first one, which is to be expected. But the good news is we are queued up for holding a similar event in October. So that's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while, so where it's finally coming to fruition. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and then I think I did an episode with Greg Geisen talking about OTC redevelopment, which is very exciting right now.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
I see it all over the social media. So, yeah, it's great.
We're in the news, and it's mostly positive, which is a good thing.
Always a good thing. We hope that it's always positive.
Our workforce deserves new facilities, and so we're really focused on that.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I saw the little mock-up drawing. I know it's not going to be exactly like that, but I thought it was cool. Cool to have a vision for what they're aiming for.
You go out and recruit all these great people, so we got to have a place for them.
Right? So. Yeah, we got to have something good for them to come to.
So last time I talked to you, you were trapped at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport.
I was trapped. I missed my connection. It was really fun. You know how I get hangry? Oh, man, I was really angry then. I didn't end up getting home until 11 o'clock at night, but at that point, I had been up since like 1:30 in the morning.
Well, it sounds like the airlines could probably use a little continuous process improvement.
Yeah, probably true. But you think about it, I think everything can always use continuous process improvement. Like the recruiting event we did, I told you we got lessons learned. How do we improve the process for all parties involved? We got good feedback. We sent out a survey, got feedback from the prospective employees as well as the employers that were there. So we have some actionable items that we can use to fix and improve the next event. So if my trip had been perfect and everything had been laid out and executed the way that I expected, I probably think that any airline is going to continue to want to look for ways to do business better, right? I mean, that's how you stay competitive, because when you get complacent is when you get into danger zone.
That is very well said. Speaking on behalf of NAVWAR, I think we are a learning organization that is invested in continuous process improvement. And so today, our guest and our topic is continuous process improvement. And we're also going to talk about Get Real, Get Better, which is a journey that the Navy initiated a little over a year ago, I believe, if I have the timing right on that. But it's really about cultural change, becoming an organization that is transparent, focuses on what's most important, embraces the red, and then builds a learning culture. As you suggested, learning around where we make mistakes and how we can do better in the future. So today we have the director of Continuous Process Improvement, Jeremy Ireland. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here, and thank you, Frankie, for having me on the show here. This will be great.
We're excited.
Jeremy, how did you get involved in continuous process improvement?
I've been involved with CPI and the whole Lean Six Sigma movement now since about, 2007. Got a brief introduction for it when I was over at NAVWAR, part of the enlisted command there at FRC, and just took onto the whole Lean Six Sigma mentality and a framework. It really went well with the business background and everything that I had coming in, and it helped really reinforce some of the practices and everything we did within the commands there, and it's been growing ever since.
Are you like a black belt?
Yes, sir. A formal black belt, yes. There's different levels of certification, going from the yellow belts and the greens, but currently standing at a black belt and working my way into that master black belt status.
Frankie, do you have a belt?
I was just thinking, I actually, at a moment in time far, far ago, I worked for Fleet Readiness Center Southwest over at North Island, and they had all of us going through LSS training. But I was going to ask you, what is the lowest belt? Because that's one I have, and then that's all I've done.
I actually had a green belt at one time many, many years ago, but I'm assuming by now it's expired.
Yeah, you got to renew.
Although Jeremy and I talk about continuous process improvement all the time, I haven't personally exercised my belt for a while, so my skill set has faded, so I probably need to work on that. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about our continuous process improvement programs here at NAVWAR.
Our CPI program here is really aimed to help enhance some of the efficiencies, the effectiveness, and overall quality of all the processes and everything that we really do here within the command. We have an overarching kind of portfolio of things that we take care of through headquarters and throughout the SysComs. Using a CPI approach is really about getting that systematic view of all the processes, our products, our services, and just streamlining them, standardizing them, and really just trying to make sure that we're delivering a quality product to the customer and we're doing it in the most efficient and effective ways possible within the workforce.
How does that fit in with the overall picture? Are you like the coach, the mentor for all the different competencies and PEOs here at NAVWAR? Is that how that works?
Yes, kind of my position here. Since we have so many projects and everything like that, it's really hard to get the hands-on depth, but we have trained a lot of LSS and CPI experts throughout the competencies, throughout the SysCom. Each of them has a lot of different projects and everything that they directly tie into and support. From my perspective, it's more of a kind of a portfolio kind of alignment type thing. So we provide the overarching training. We help ensure that communications in between not just our project teams, but the SysComs is happening. So we're not stovepiping ourselves kind of within the organization. We're really just trying to ensure that CPI is not only embedded, trained, and encouraged upon, but our teams are taking action and trying to reach and sustain those goals that we have for the command.
In your position, you have a great opportunity because we have so many projects here. You can see and you have already kind of a Rolodex in your brain of things that have already been tried and tested and successful, or no, they weren't.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a ton of oversight across the whole SysCom with what we do, everything from finance up to corporate ops and FRD and some of the fleet-facing workforces that we have. The vision across the command is, just say it's large, for lack of a better word, but getting all those teams together and just some of the best practices we see in other competencies, relaying some of that information back and forth. Again, not just collaboration on single projects, but being applied different tools and templates or learning objectives, things like that. One team can find one way of doing it better, and we definitely want to propose and help sponsor that to the rest of the organization. And
I was recently at what they call NFOSIS, which is the Navy Flag Officer Senior Executive Symposium. And GRGB, Get Real, Get Better, was front and center throughout that as the CNO laid out her vision for America's warfighting Navy. And in virtually every one of the flag officers and SESs that got up to talk about whatever specific topic was, it was clear that the Navy has embraced Get Real, Get Better.
Absolutely. I was able to send into one of the Felix courses of last year, and the topics and everything that they're approaching through Get Real, Get Better, it's widespread across the Navy, and at a very high level, too. Some of the instances that we're applying GRGB, NAVWAR is using it to help ensure that we maintain the right number of aircraft and get the sustainment and maintenance, make sure we're at performance levels there. Shipyards are using it not just to ensure that we have the right number of ships, but that we're able to maintain and deploy those number of ships. Previously in years past, while we had programs that help support those, it wasn't really until we took on that GRGB type mindset and the framework associated with it, which can be from a Lean Six Sigma to other project management approaches, but it really took a very vigorous approach and a dedication to getting better in those areas. And ever since the GRGB has stood up, and the Vice CNO and CNO's office and all the leadership, they've really seen tangible benefits come out of applying those approaches to some of those larger SysComs and getting improvements out of there, just as we are here.
At a leadership level, I feel like the Navy has really embraced Get Real, Get Better. Here at NAVWAR, we do our monthly where all the senior leadership gets in and we get whatever that monthly topic of training is as part of Get Real, Get Better. And then we take that training and we roll it down to the next level within our organizations. How do you feel we're doing right now? How would you assess we're doing as far as rolling out Get Real, Get Better, and really making it part of our culture? I think when it first came out, a lot of people said, oh, this is just like TQL or whatever the flavor of CPI was in the past. But I think this is really different. What are your thoughts on that?
It is different. It's not just a framework of rolling out like LSS or CPI in the past. We've had different initiatives and we tried to push those out, but Get Real, Get Better is more about influencing the culture and the entire mindset of the Navy. From a NAVWAR perspective, we're trying to change the culture of how we approach projects here, how we deliver information, how we communicate, and really try and embrace that kind of mindset that we can and should be looking for opportunities to do better with everything that we do.
We talk about culture. I think one of the things I've noticed since GRGB has gained a lot of traction, I love it, is the fact that it's almost as if we're kind of almost to the point of looking for where we had the screw ups or made the mistakes or experienced the failures. And I think that's refreshing because normally people are like, I made a mistake. I don't want anybody to know about this. Let me clean it up before somebody knows, right? And I think that the GRGB takes a different spin on it. It's like, hey, we're going to make mistakes. Why be embarrassed about it? Why try and hide it and fix it before anybody else finds out? It's better. Share it. Share the lessons learned. And one of the things I think when you think about mindset and culture is, I think we've done a good job here is changing the way that we hear the word failure. It's not really a failure. It's more lessons learned. I think it comes down to you got to be able to be agile. And I think that's what Admiral Frankie-Episode talks about is we have to be agile. The people that are going to win the conflict are the ones that learn the fastest from their failures and recover quickly.
The get real, get better behaviors, and to your point, they really resonate. I mean, get real. What exactly does that mean? It means we should be transparent. Instead of looking for the green all the time, let's go find the red. Let's embrace it. Let's be honest about it, and let's attack it. Let's swarm that problem and go fix it. And then the get better piece, using those proven problem-solving methods that Jeremy has been talking about. And then if you can't fix it, elevate it. Somebody in leadership can remove that barrier and allow it to be fixed. And then, to your earlier point, Jeremy, about learning to action, and that's building learning teams. So you don't crush people when they bring you a problem.
Right.
Absolutely.
Are there some GRGB, Get Real, Get Better, or CPI, continuous process improvement initiatives that maybe you could highlight in your mind that we have recently been working or have completed work on?
We have well over 100 different initiatives and projects going on at any given time that are CPI related or Get Real, Get Better related. Mm-hmm. Ones that are really easy to highlight and always come to mind is some of the work that we've done within the hiring practices and onboarding and everything like that we have here at NAVWAR. Well aware, we've made great strides in the way that we've gone through the hiring process. The hiring process in itself, 10-segment process that crosses a lot of stakeholders and touches hands, both within the departments, the competencies, the command, and OCHR as well. Constantly looking at all those different segments and looking for different opportunities to help streamline that is a great example of applying CPI to a process because there's always space and opportunities to kind of get better in there. And we've done that over the course of the past decade on really making those leaps and bounds to make it the most efficient process that we can.
Yeah, and I would add, in my role over at PEOC4I now, we've had some very complicated issues on ships that cross multiple systems, multiple Navy commands, and we have used the proven problem-solving methodologies to get to what was the root cause of that problem and then be able to apply a fix to it. And so I guess to wrap it up, this is all about, I guess, two things come to mind. One is the quality of work life of our NAVWAR employees, how we're looking after them and making things better here in the workplace. But second is what are we doing for the fleet and making sure that we as a command are mission focused and that we're efficiently and effectively delivering the best possible information warfare capability to our fleet sailors.
Absolutely. One of the critical aspects behind the whole Get Real, Get Better is the voice of the customer and ensuring that we're engaging all of our stakeholders. The quality of our products is going to be determined by those who are using them most. And with regards to the installations and the fleet, they're the ones who provide our feedback at times. Our capability to deliver is really tied up in a lot of these Get Real, Get Better initiatives.
That's a good point, the voice of the customer, because when you embrace the red and you look at your internal, your processes, your business, you know it best. And you may draw a lot of assumptions of what you think is a problem for the customer. And then you talk to them and are like, oh, I don't care about that. Actually, this is what I care about. The voice of the customer plays a huge role. In this case, for us, the warfighter is our customer. That is who we are supporting. That just dawned on me, a little enlightened moment.
Well, no, that's great. And I think that's, every time we come into work every day, I think that's what we have to keep our focus on is why we're here. We have a great mission at NAVWAR, fleet focused, and always thinking about how can we do our mission better, whether it's through CPI or Get Real, Get Better. That's what our focus is. So, Jeremy, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you sharing both your role and some of the things that you're working on and keep charging. That's fantastic.
Wait, we forgot one more thing.
Oh, what?
It just came to mind. Is there anything, Jeremy, that you want to share about the continuous process improvement we do here, the Get Real, Get Better? Wasn't there an award program?
Oh, yes. So we do offer a little bit of incentives when we come to our projects and our programs. For a CPI perspective, we're not just looking for the top level initiative of projects that kind of come downhill to us. We're really trying to help encourage those within the workforce to help bring forth, their suggestive ideas and everything like that as well. We have enacted a beneficial suggestion program, the Benny Suggs, to really help capture and promote some of those new ideas or great ideas that some of you may have out there.
Very cool.
Thank you for catching that, Frankie. That is important. Now, you're no stranger to Get Real, Get Better yourself. You're the lead for our human capital strategy.
Oh, yes.
And you and your team are doing fantastic work there. So on behalf of the NAVWAR workforce, I say thank you publicly.
Well, thank you for that. The team appreciates it. It takes a whole team effort to get any of those small muscle movements done in support of the workforce and the warfighter. So team enjoys it. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Team, if you're listening, good job. Fist bump.
Yeah, so if you're out there and thinking about coming to work for NAVWAR, if you want to work for a place that has an amazing mission,
yes,
that cares about its workforce, that's innovative and always learning, come work for NAVWAR. That's my message.
Yeah. If you want to join a cool team, come to NAVWAR. You won't regret it.
I like that even better, a cool team. All right, well, thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks, all.
Frankie, we'll see you in a couple of weeks for our next episode.
Next month. We got to keep it going.
All right, awesome. Everybody have a great day. Empowering Excellence with Art and Frankie is a production of the NAVWAR Headquarters Public Affairs Office in association with NAVWAR Corporate Operations. Our podcast production team includes Ed Disco Buckleton, Kara McDermott, and Ramon Go, our digital media specialist who produced today's show. On behalf of Frankie and myself, I am Art Sterrett. Have a great Navy day.